What I'm saying is, they're going to cry out, Lord, Lord. Did not we prophesy in your name? Did we not we cast out demons in your name? Did we heal the sick? We raise the dead? All of these things they would say what they think in their own heart. But at the end, he will say, I know you not. Your tribulation is upon you. I knew you not. When I was in prison, you didn't come see me. When they was calling me Al Qaeda, you didn't shut the man's mouth. Tell him that this not no Al Qaeda. When you say he's the Taliban, you didn't say, you didn't scold a man that called the saints of God all manner of wicked names because it was in his power to do so. And as he said these things and spoke these words against my peoples, the green tree, he cursed himself because he was a tree, a dry tree, and planted in a dry land. And then in a dry season where everything was dry. But just because he was had power to do so, he slaughtered and killed the seed of Abraham. So the curse, the word that I said that it went out, that before it go out, it had to come back fulfilled because heaven and earth will pass away before this word will pass away. These are the things that's going to be upon these false prophets who stole and lied just to exalt himself, to look good in the eyesight of man, and worked for the riches of this earth, and he contaminated his own garment while he was contaminating the gospel of God. So at the end of the day, it would be said to these people that I knew you not. I knew you not. They're taking up the cross of Jesus Christ, but they're taking it up for profit, for pay, for fame, and for the richness of this earth. We can see them every day walk beyond and past us. And they preach the gospel, they hold their head up high as if they was some prize chicken in a barrel. But as they walk by us, we admire them and we want to become as they are. But behind closed doors, we never saw the mindset, never did we see the making of it. If something don't come and knock the cow drum over and spill the contents up on the ground where it could be exposed by the world, we would never know what some of these preachers are doing behind closed doors. But at the end of the day, when time comes and the word that God spoke before us have gone out, and when it have truly begun to return unto its original place, and we see all of these things exposed before our eyes, then we could see the truth unfolding itself. That the first deceiver was he who carried the works of God. He softened us up, for we could serve the hands of Satan and not the word of our Lord. And Daniel, where God used paraphrases to speak to us concerning what would happen in these later days, he used the Hebrew children, the three Hebrew children, which is symbolized in Daniel, I think, chapter 4:3. When he said dance, he went in, he got the heads of the states first. He summoned the heads of the states first in these later days. The sheriffs, the accountants, the bookkeepers were all high level of government standards and the governmental body. He introduced them to the words, the law of called democracy. And then he brought all these instruments around, which was the standards of the law of democracy. And he said, you got to bow down every time you hear all these types of music instruments playing. In other words, short saying, he telling you, you got to dance by my music. If you don't dance by my music, you will be placed in the fire furnace. In other words, we're going to use nuclear weapons on you if you don't dance by my music. Well, the music of the Gentiles is the law called democracy. You got to go against all the values that was taught to you during the reign of Moses in Holy. You got to destroy all of these laws, all of these values set in place by God in the standards upon which you're supposed to live by. You got to tell your peoples, what you telling these governmental bodies, we hear something, they got to dance by my music, not the music of God the Father, God the Son. Let you know that was bad intent. Well, all them, the Chaldees was the CIA, which left, they got rolling around out of there. He was a spy, watching every household that was under the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, who came from the children of Israel, the 12 tribes, who was under bondage at that point in time, in the satrap at Mystery Babel. Well, they called certain Hebrews, they call them Jews, but they're Hebrews. Three of them, Shadrach, Meshach, I believe, Abednego. Among three of them people, I don't know what was, no, it wasn't John the Baptist, Daniel. But anyway, they taken and seen these people not bowing down to the law called democracy. They weren't dancing by the music. They were serving their God when every time they looked, see, they ended up praying to their God. And he went back and told the king, live forever. See, there's certain Jews, they call them Jews, but they was Hebrews by genetic trait. Go to Genesis chapter 15, verse 1. Start there, go to 14, start at Genesis 14 and read 15. That'd be the good thing to do. Now, they were serving their God. They wasn't dancing by the music of the Gentiles. They were dancing by the music of God the Father and God the Son, because they was praying to them. CIA, being the spies set over these people, he went back and told the king. King gave them opportunity. So when God, his business was at an asset, that he rushed and heated up this flame, and he threw three of the Hebrews in there, in the fire furnace, who they had captured out of their land. And done so, to the soldiers that threw them in, they fell in there too because of the heat of the flame. They had to get so close to that, and I guess it just sucked them